Hey y'all, so we're gonna tie this week up, and I want to put it on a good note, really give you some hope in this, because for me, looking at, even though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, even though I'm living in living through the valley of the shadow of death, that there is such hope in that, because even the very next thing psalmist says is, I will fear no evil, and we're going to get into that next week. But we are born into this valley, this sin wrecked planet, the creation that groans under the weight of transgression and sin. But here, Isaiah 9:2, listen to these. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. Those who dwelt in the land of intense darkness and the shadow of death, upon them the light has shined. Friend, that is me and that is you. This light here is God. It is God. Take your pick which one. No, I don't mean that. But Jesus Christ, the eyes of our understanding have been opened. We can see, and the light has shined. I'm going to read that again. Isaiah 9, verse 2. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light, and those who dwelt in the land of intense darkness and the shadow of death, upon them the light has shined. And let's go to Job chapter 12, verse 22. This is talking about God our Father. He uncovers deep things out of darkness and brings into light black gloom and the shadow of death. Shadow of death, that we would recognize that this place that we are walking through it's in a fallen state. It is not in its perfect state anymore, but that God the Father brings it into light. He brings us into light. The last one we'll look at in Isaiah is Isaiah 42, verses 6 and 7. And it says, I, the Lord, have called you, the Messiah, for a righteous purpose and in righteousness. I will take you by the hand and will keep you. I will give you for a covenant to the people of Israel, for a light to the nations, the Gentiles. That's us. That He gave Jesus as our light. To open the eyes of the blind, to bring out prisoners from the dungeon, and to those who sit in darkness from prison. That is why the psalmist, who, David saw so prophetically, and you can see that in his Psalms, but he knew there was a Messiah coming. He knew there was one coming, and he had hope. And he said, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. And this is it. This is it, that Jesus was sent as a light to open the eyes of the blind. Now, that is not just physically blind, although, of course, Jesus did give physical sight to those who were physically blind. But that's in Women in the Word. Last time we talked about having eyes to see. In the Garden of Eden, after Adam and Eve ate of the fruit, it says that their eyes were opened and they saw that they were naked. Well, they weren't actually... it wasn't that their eyes were closed and they couldn't tell they were naked. It's that their vision, they lost their vision. They could no longer see into the spirit realm. They had been disconnected from God the Father and could not see His provision, could not see His glory, could not see His goodness any longer. And if we actually go to the book of Acts, and I've read this before, this was so, just loved this, reading this and discovering this for me. Paul's assignment from Jesus. He says, 26, let's just go verse 16. But arise, stand on your feet, for I have appeared to you for this purpose. Jesus, this is at the road to Damascus. He's talking to Paul. I am choosing you from among this Jewish people and the Gentiles to whom I'm sending you. So I'm taking you out of the Jewish people. I'm sending you to the Gentile people to open their eyes that they may turn from darkness to light and from the power of Satan to God, so that they can receive forgiveness and release from their sins and a place and portion among those who are consecrated and purified in me by faith, or by faith in me. So it's not that we just walk through this valley of the shadow of darkness and there's no hope and we're just left to endure it and live with it. We walk through it. He has shined his light on us. We have been restored into right standing, and we do live in this world, but we are not of it. We are pilgrims on a journey. We are aliens and strangers in this world. We are citizens of the state, the commonwealth of heaven. We are only foreigners living here for a little while, and because of that, we will not fear. That's where we'll get next week. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you then. Bye.